Hi everyone, today in this video I'm going to develop another mental model that people should adopt that are representative about how the reality works. And then obviously by increasing your knowledge, you're going to be able to make best type of decisions that it is what ultimately links to you more probability to take the feedback that you want, whatever it is the field that you want to get the prosperity. And then today, we're going to talk about the mental model that's taken from the technology field that's called the Gartner Hype Cycle, navigating the waves of tech innovation. And what this mental model tends to represent? So the best way is that this mental model specifically helps to understand the life cycle of emerging technologies, and then it's probably like it can be a tool that you can use for separate real potential from fleeting hype, getting hustle through the stages of innovation adoption, and then that we have now understood, and we have as well understood the incentives that we should get to learn this mental model. Things can help us to understand uh, if in the future a specific technology that have been hyped about, if has something that we're gonna have to deal with, and then if you're already prepared for the adoption in masses of that specific type of technology, better is going to be your way in terms of how you can enjoy it and you can apply it in your life. And then what you have to understand, the key phases of the Gartner Hype Cycle. It's a graphical representation that maps the maturity, adoption, and social application of emerging technologies. First we have a technology trigger, a breakthrough or disruptive innovation that sparks early interest. And then after that we have the peak of inflated expectations. The hype builds up and expectations soar, often beyond what's realistically achievable in short terms. It comes with our tendency to overrate what's going to be the effect of a specific technology in our life in short term. It's a tendency that we have today. We see a lot. People already think that ChatGPT and the IGA, that's robots that are already going to be made in 5 years. In less than 5 years, we're going to have could exist a lot of robots that will make the majority of the works of the people today. People tend to overrate how quick or how valuable the specific type of technology can exist in terms of quickness to develop, and how much valuable they are will be built in short term. What happens? The trope of the disillusionment. Really, the reality tends to set in, and many technologies fail to live up to the hype. This disillusionment is something that obviously people don't like. We're also a bit loaded about how will be important technology, right? Will be useful to get in short term, and then obviously we see the reality, and obviously we don't like it. And then what comes after? The slope of enlightenment. The practical applications emerge and real value starts to develop, because the technologies they tends to be what useful for the people. Normally the technology that tends to be built in terms of MVP, they tend to have an idea, but they just create a viable product that's already know, like the one that meets all the type of abilities that we have right now. We put in the market and we make the people experiment, and normally they use the as feedbacks to now start grow the technology over the time. It's like the majority of technologies, they are not built to like they are in the already in the hand stage when they're launched. No, they are launched even when they still have a lot of potential. In order to these companies, they receive the feedback of the real users for why they are creating the tool for, and then after that, during already when the product is a market, we have seen the developing of product over the time still so reach in so a better stage in the terms of being more useful for the product for the consumers that are so like the ones that we produce the things for. We work in a capitalism type of mode. We work for profit, and we already have shown so, and that the companies have been learned then the kind of the long stages, making an ideation and just like so putting in the market already when they have so kind of meet all the budget that they have got so for the project was a wrong way to do it, because they have a so high likelihood of not being the deal that so the people are in reality pretending to use. And then so they already have spent a lot of money, they don't have enough to making modifications, and they will never so got the profit that's so what all everyone's of the companies that we have today seek for. And then so obviously now we see more creations of MVPs having elasticity enough the product to get so modified based on the feedbacks that the consumers got. And then so over the time the evolution of the product that's so in terms of the hand stages is just like a long time after their launch, the initial launch. And then so obviously it is something that matches with what? With the concept that is everyone so tends to seek as a business owner, that's profit. And then so minimizing the risks is meeting by MVP products that are not so meeting their fully type of potential when they're launched. And that's something that's it's just like something that we wish because it's something that's more adaptable for the consumer way to see so the reality, and then so what their needs, and then so their feedbacks is something that's going to base more the creation of the new technologies that are so about to be the ones that's so going to be adopted by the people that so consume it. And then so obviously the reality is that we have this cycle. We underrate, we tend to overrate in short term, and in long term we tend so to underrate how useful technology is. And then so it's important to do what? To manage the expectations. So by understanding where the technology is on the hype cycle, so understanding that it is we're now like in early stages, that people are more promoting idea than having already real products, testing ideas, see so people getting deluded, getting so in a phase that they don't like because the product seems like too much simple. But you see that in long term we have a tendency to a product develop in terms of how huge it is, because it becomes more adapted for the consumers that so they are being built for. And obviously so the reality is that it's important for people have a strategic planning. So companies, and this is so by the company, so companies use the hype cycle to plan R&D, the investments, and set realistic milestones for technology adoption, which is something so that we have talked about the emergence of the MVP type of culture of launch a product. And so with as well other company that's market rightness. So the model indicates when a technology is mature enough to create sustainable market value versus when it's still in experimental phase. So real world examples, we have the EA that I already have used. So the EA once surged to the peak of inflected expectation, then entered a period of disillusionment. So we have started not believing in the whole EA evolution. And now is moving towards the plateau of productivity as real world applications they start to take off. So it was another stage in the Gartner Hype Cycle. So after the slope of enlightenment, so practical applications emerge and real value starts to develop, and something that happens as well after the trough of disillusionment, when reality sets in and many technologies fail to live up to the hype, when we start so the slap of enlightenment. So now we're looking more in long term, so the evolution of the teams developing the product become more critical. We start entering a plateau of productivity, technology becomes mainstream, delivering so reliable benefits because of the evolution since the MVP, and then so a more end stage of the product that we start not so have the probability to even increment or increase so the value that technology has already. And then so we're entering in a stage then we already are seeing so real applications of EA today. Virtual reality experience has experienced so similar cycles, where initial excitement gave way to skepticism. Now it's still investing with more practical applications in gaming, training, and education. Blockchain as well is another example. Technology has been riding the hype cycle, with early grand promises followed by a more measured, value-driven phase as real use case starts to emerge. So the reality is that you have to accept that the majority of the news that you got and you understand right now, sometimes they're too much sensationalism over and under so what the people say. It's more like to in terms of clickbait, then you so gonna get if you apply so the product in your life. So what you have to understand is having so a mentality of learning based in experience, so using the real prudency so we how much valuable they are instead of just believing and relying what so are the speculations about so what's going to be the product. And then so it already prepares you to not fall in bubbles that, for example, was a bubble that has like the major type of contributor to the crisis that we have seen in 2008 or 9. That was the bubble of the credit in the houses market. And obviously so technologies they tend to be as well a thing that sometimes a bubble can be created around. So be someone that's smart enough to understand when a product is real valuable or is just hyped about how it can be in the future, but understand what can be valuable in the future doesn't mean that it's going to be valuable even in a 5-term type of the time. So I expect this video has helped you to gain certain type of insight, and I expect as well to help me by subscribing and seeing other videos. So see you in the next one.